What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. As we get major threats here from China and Russia here, basically on a weekly basis, US Congress and lawmakers are now actually going over battle plans and simulations on if China actually invades Taiwan and what the US would actually do. That's right. Take a look here.
Taiwan makes their own judgments about their independence. We are not moving, we're not encouraging their being independent. That's their decision.
But would U.S. forces defend the island?
Yes, if in fact there was an unprecedented attack.
So unlike Ukraine, to be clear, sir, U.S. forces, U.S. men and women, would defend Taiwan in the event of a Chinese invasion?
Yes.
President Biden last fall saying for the first time that if China invades Taiwan, the U.S. would send troops to defend it. It's an invasion many experts predict could happen in this decade. We got a fascinating inside look this week at how members on the House China Committee are gaming out war scenarios. In the sky, on the sea, China staging combat exercises, a show of force, a warning that a potential blockade of Taiwan could be coming. The Chinese army even releasing this simulation of how they'd attack the nearby island, a self-governed democracy that China claims as its own territory. But on Capitol Hill this week, lawmakers staged their own simulation.
Tonight is not about a desire for war. It's certainly not about playing frivolous games.
It's about prevent war games.
China Committee Chairman Mike Gallagher and Ranking Member Raja Krishnamurthy set up the exercise with the Center for New American Security.
This game is going to be a Chinese invasion of Taiwan set in 2027.
What exactly do we know right now about their mobilization effort?
Members from both sides of the aisle coming together, politics set aside. There's Virginia Republican Robert Whitman and Massachusetts Democrat Jake Auchincloss, the members taking on the role of advisors to the president.
What have we communicated to expats and students who are in China right now?
This is part of what you get to decide.
That's Stacey Pettijohn, a senior fellow from CNAS, acting as the game master.
The chairman of the Joint Chiefs can't pick up the phone and talk to his PLA counterpart.
Correct. Unfortunately, General Holmes is cut off.
Retired General Mike Holmes is playing the role of chairman of the Joint Chiefs, laying out to members what military options there are.
The biggest benefit from fighting from a distance is that you preserve and protect your forces.
But diplomatic and economic options are on the table as well.
Many of our allies agreed to take part in economic activities with us as a precursor to these conversations.
Has there been any activity at the United Nations yet?
After debating how the U.S. should react, lawmakers took a vote announcing their move.
We will be standing with our friends in Taiwan. We have forces in the region that are pre-positioned. We're surging forces in the region. We are also prepared to impose maximum economic pressure in the event of an invasion, including sanctions against most major Chinese banks, including kicking China off the SWIFT system.
But wait a minute. Chinese authorities, played by CNAS staffers, quickly counter, surging troops, forcing a communications blackout in Taiwan, and banning exports of electronic goods to the U.S.
So that means we are going after companies like Apple, Dell, HP. You want a new iPhone? Guess what? You're not going to get it.
Lots of questions, lots of lessons.
It was remarkable to see all of you there working together. It's not a view we often get. We see you in hearings, we see you on TV, but this is a group that is really working together.
We're trying to, and again, ultimately, we're hoping to generate creative ideas that can pass this Congress for what we can do to enhance deterrence. So our hope is by doing something different, we generate more member engagement and more member ideas.
There's obviously lessons learned from Ukraine. One of them was the U.S. intelligence certainly believed Russia would be moving in.
Yeah.
But really off the mark in terms of the power of Russia and the power of the troops. Do you trust the intelligence on this one, Congressman?
I trust the intelligence community and their assessment right now. I think you have to just prepare for the worst and hope for the best. I think that's just the way that we have to approach this scenario.
Now, is this the next war? Is this the next invasion? Taiwan thinks this is coming. It's only a matter of time. And you best believe that China is watching every single move that happens in Ukraine. What works for Russia, what doesn't, what the international community does against Russia, what they are and are not allowed to do, and ultimately whether they win or not, and how much pain and punishment and economic sanctions Russia ends up taking and the toll it takes on Russia, and how excluded they become from the rest of the world as well. And if you watch that kind of scenario and how it all played out, how segregated China might become from the rest of the world also plays an interesting role here. You heard him say, okay, well, we're going to cut out maybe a lot of technology companies from the United States and Europe and the rest of the world. Might be interesting to kick Apple out of China, kick all these other companies that produce in China, and think about the run on the products that might happen here in the United States. We get a lot of things produced in China that you might not even realize. And I always talk about the toilet paper run that we had during the pandemic here, the run on the stores that we had. Imagine the run on the stores that we could have if there is an invasion in Taiwan, and all of a sudden, we get involved in economic sanctions like we are with Russia right now on China, and all of a sudden it's a tit for tat type of thing, and then China says, okay, well, because you're sanctioning us, we're not going to let you import any products from China, and then all of a sudden shelves are bare with no products coming from China. If you don't really know how much products come from China, it's a lot. A lot. Yeah, so this could be a very, I don't know the word, interesting scenario, and not really in a good way. Remember, in a war like this, there's no winners. There's no winners. You look at Ukraine and how this has played out, and how long this has played out already. There's no winners. We look at the price of gas has gone up, the price of food has gone up, inflation worldwide, recession worldwide, and it's not over. It's not over. We're coming up here on a year and a half, maybe here soon, and Russia really struggling. They're not making any ground here at all. They've been stuck here in Bakhmut and a few other cities, making like a 1 mile progress in a month, and really losing a lot of ground. They've lost like over 1,000 square miles of progress in the last few months in a lot of other areas as well. So now it would be a very different scenario in Taiwan, though. China has like 1.4 billion people. I think they're about 10 times larger than Russia. I think Russia has like about 150 million people, or I don't know, something like that. You can look up the exact numbers here. But China is way larger than Russia, just comparing size here. They have a larger military than Russia as well. And Taiwan is smaller than Ukraine. So I don't know if Taiwan could defend themselves against China. Just the sheer size. I just don't know. I just think it's too much of a David and Goliath situation. There's also some talks that honestly China might be able to negotiate forcefully their way into taking it over. As strange as that sounds, because of their size and will and force, similar to kind of what happened in Crimea. How Russia just kind of took it over by force without a fight. That could happen in Taiwan just because Taiwan, I don't know. I don't know if it would happen. I'm just saying it's a possibility because I just don't know if Taiwan can defend itself militarily and for how long. And God forbid if the US actually does get involved in a war. Now, on the other hand, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Taiwan could hold themselves out for a long time, in like the case in Ukraine. A lot of people thought Ukraine wouldn't be able to hold themselves out, and Russia would come in and just take themselves and take it over. And here we are over a year later, and look at that. So who knows? And honestly, I mean, God help us if the US actually does go in there and defend Taiwan. We could be in a World War III type situation. I mean, if that actually happens, I mean, we pretty much are. I don't know if that's going to happen. You can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily. Let me know if you think that's going to happen. Do you think U.S. boots on the ground are going to be in Taiwan? You heard the president say it. He said it more than once. Will he be the president next time around? Yeah. In fact, President Biden officially launched his 2024 re-election campaign today. It's actually 4 years to the day of when he launched his 2020 election campaign. So whether or not he will be the next president, nobody knows, but we will see. So make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. Click the bell icon afterwards if you haven't yet so you don't miss out on any new videos. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country and around the world that you need to know about. Also, thanks for liking and sharing these videos. Here's some videos you should watch next. If you're a gun owner, click here to see what is happening right now, which is pretty shocking. Or click here to see the warning Speaker Kevin McCarthy just gave to millions of Americans just 5 minutes ago. So click on one of these videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.